The one she already ate. Ay, hermosa, ¿cómo estás?
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you all for being here, and thanks for taking time out of your day to be with us on what's kind of a bittersweet morning. So, before we even get started, I just want to recognize a few folks that are actually here with us. We've got students Marisol and Leslie that are here with us. They're going to say a few words, but please no questions for them. We've also got Principal Jill Versteeg, who's here, who's going to have a short statement as well. And then she and I will also be able to answer any question that you've got. Before actually you get started, let me just go and tell you, I'm Matt Smith. I'm the Associate Superintendent for Des Moines Public Schools. I also want to recognize here with us today are Don Oropeza with Alexito and Isaiah Knox with Urban Dreams. So that being said, that's who's here. And thank you, of course, for being here with us this morning. I have just a few remarks to open up with, because here in just a few minutes, we're going to actually welcome students back into Des Moines Public Schools, and specifically here at East High School. This is the first time students will gather together as a student body after the March 7th tragic events where students were injured, shot, and one student tragically lost his life. This is our very own student. This is a student that we have been with his entire career. We have loved, we have cared for as a community and as a school district, and it's been heartbreaking ever since March 7th. I also want to recognize the outpouring of support that we've got since March 7th. It's been unbelievably overwhelming. The local support that we've got from various school districts across the state of Iowa, not only here locally, school districts like Urbandale, like Johnston, like Carlisle, that have been here in person to recognize and support this Des Moines community and this East High School community. And there's been so many others, countless others, that I can't even mention right now. We've also had a number of community supports from across the nation. Our partners from the Council of Great City Schools, from the Wallace Foundation, and our colleagues in Broward County have reached out on a number of opportunities and a number of occasions to express their sympathy and offer their supports. We want to continue to lift them up. And I just could not mention, again, Alexito and Urban Dreams, Dads on a Mission, all of these community leaders and their organizations being here day in, day out since March 7th to offer their support to the students and staff of East High. This is a tragic event. So coming to school again today, again, is bittersweet for us. It's bittersweet because we recognize and we have not healed yet from the loss that we've suffered as a community and as a school. We will continue to suffer and we will continue to heal. But in that healing actually is hope. We will get better. We will begin to find joy again here at school, in our community. But it's going to take us doing that together. It's going to take us loving one another and being here and showing up every day for one another. We can do this. We can continue to pull together as a community. We've done some changes here to welcome our students back and our staff back. We've made some significant changes. When it comes to safety and security, we have added some patrols in the parking lots in the vicinity of East High School and all of our high school vicinities in their neighborhoods. So we will have increased patrol by our own DMPS Public Safety Security as well as Des Moines Police Department. They will be in our parking lots and patrolling the neighborhoods and again in the vicinity. We've also began to look at cameras and adding more security on the outside of the building, looking into the streets further down, and so that will provide us a little bit more support through camera footage. We will continue to add and acquire more equipment to add some of those cameras for the safety and security of our students and our community and our families. We've also begun to look at bus routing, things like that, in order to increase and develop a more comprehensive safety and secure protocol for students being dropped off in the morning and picked up in the afternoon, running our central shuttle buses. All of those aspects of our overall safety protocols are being looked at and analyzed not only here at East High School, but across our district at all of our schools. We will continue to revamp and analyze all of our safety protocols as a means to actually create a safer environment for our students, for our staff, and for our families. I will tell you this, though, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. Gun violence is not the problem of Des Moines Public Schools to solve alone. We are absolutely a part of the solution, and we are asking all of our community members, all of our legislators to be a part of the solution with us. In doing so, over the next couple of days, we will be announcing a series of community roundtables where we were asking folks to come to the table with us to talk about solutions, suggestions, opportunities, brainstorming ideas on how we can be better together as a community to create a safer environment for our students, for our staff, and for our families. These children deserve nothing less than the very best we got as a community. They need us to come together. They need us to come to the table for them, with them, in service of their education, of their lives, of their future. And they deserve that from us. And that's exactly what they're going to get. I am already inspired, again, by the outpouring opportunities that have been presented to us in the face of tragedy by our community leadership. Words of gratitude will never be enough to express how sincere we are in thanking you for all that you've done for us. At this time, I'd like to go ahead and bring to the podium Principal Jill Versteeg. She and her staff have done an amazing job of leading through, again, one of the most tragic events that has ever occurred in Iowa.
Good morning. I'm not good at this, so I'm going to ask for a little grace this morning. This is my first year as principal at East. I've been here as my fourth year here, but really my first week on the job as principal. An event like this is the last thing you want to experience at any point. But even in these very dark moments, we find hope. And that hope for me comes from our community and our students and our families and the teachers of the school. The phrase Scarlet Strong has been more than just a couple of words. It's been the way for so many people to unite and rally right now. I cannot say enough kind words about the staff of East High School. Even though they've been experiencing their own grief and their own trauma, they were here for our students and for each other, and they will continue to be. And while we might not have had classes that week, we had supports here for students. We had a continuous stream of students here seeking out things like art therapy, chances just to meet with their teachers or with one another, meeting with grief counselors, meeting with puppies and having some dog therapy, and just being here in the building to show unity with one another, playing soccer in the gym, playing basketball in the gym, getting meals and having meals with us. Those supports, many of those supports, specifically the grief counseling, will continue through this week and forward as needed. Finally, I'd just like to say that our most important resource are the parents, families, and students of East High School. Families, please talk with your students about what happened. And if your child needs support, just ask us. But also talk to them about the importance of their education, of showing up to school, of engaging in their classes and activities, and why education remains the great equalizer of our society. And finally, if you feel compelled, if you would like, please get involved with us. Volunteer. Nothing shows your community and your students that you care about their education as much as giving of your time when possible. What matters most in education, of course, are our students. And I'd like to bring our students, Leslie and Marisol, up for a moment.
It is hard to be back after what occurred 2 weeks ago. These community must come together to provide support for one another, but not just now, but from now on. Counselors are there to provide support. Please take time to practice self-care as needed and be mindful of those around you grieving. Thank you.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank the amazing staff who's been here with us through it all, and our student body who's able to be here today. I'd like to thank all of the amazing support we've received from our community. It's really greatly appreciated. East High School has gone through a great tragedy, but we've shown great strength, one we have now and will continue to always have. East High School Scarlets are so strong, but we shouldn't have to be. We hope for a better future for our students and staff, for the next generations to come, and for those everywhere. Thank you.
So with that, we've got a few minutes before students arrive, and so we can take a few questions if you have them.
Max, can you talk more about the cameras and police presence? How long is that going to last for the police presence? And how many cameras already exist here, and how many do you hope to add?
You know, in terms of the specificity of cameras, we've got quite a few that already are in place and have been in place for many years now. That's also part of just a comprehensive safety protocol, which includes secure doors, secured entrances, things like that. In terms of the number of cameras that we're adding, that's still being determined. We're looking at actually what spots we need to add, where do we need to actually turn cameras that are pre-existing already into face maybe a different direction, or add some depth or capacity to what they're seeing and how clear that view is. In addition to that, your question I think was around just security. And police presence, yep, and that presence is actually in the parking lots, and then again in the community, in the vicinity of the school district, within East High School. So that will last as long as it needs to last. To be honest with you, the support from our own public safety team has just been amazing, and they always are very much on the spot and very much present and a part of the everyday life of Des Moines Public Schools in terms of being in service to our students and in our community. Same goes for our police department. They've actually been very, very supportive and very, very responsive in this situation, and have been more than willing to actually have anything set up that we would need. And again, so they've been very receptive to that. And so that'll go on as long as we need it to go on. But again, those will be part of the conversations that we'll have as a community roundtable. Yes.
Can you please just clarify? I know that you had mentioned that unfortunately Leo Gibson had gone to East Des Moines Public Schools his entire life, but police had said he was not enrolled at the time. Can you please confirm?
Yeah, so once a student in Des Moines Public Schools, always a student, whether you are enrolled currently or not. And so our care and love for the children actually doesn't stop once they are no longer attending our school district. So, yes.
Confirm when he stopped attending.
I actually can't confirm that date, to be honest with you, off the top of my head. Good question, thank you.
I know it might be a little hard to gauge at this point, but what's the general disposition of the students at this time?
Probably exactly what you would imagine it to be. Sad and you know, maybe even in some feelings of not knowing how to respond. You know, want to be with their friends and want to be with their teachers and with their administrators. Because as much love and support as they get from their families at home, they also get that very same amount of love and support from their teachers and their staff here. And so being together is really important right now. And so I think the biggest thing is that we don't ask students to feel one way or another. We expect them to feel exactly how they need to feel, and we will support them through that, whatever that means. Yes, ma'am.
Are you seeing or is there an increase in police presence at any of the high schools or
There are the patrols that our own public safety team, as well as the DMPD, have offered up is for all high schools, and so they are patrolling at a more rapid clip and a higher volume all over the place.
Just to follow up on, you're saying that we need to work together, the community needs to work together to address gun violence. Can you speak a little bit about guns being found in school? If that's an ongoing issue, what needs to be addressed in terms of guns being found inside schools?
Yeah, again, gun violence again is an issue that has plagued our country. It's not a Des Moines issue. It's not a Des Moines Public Schools issue. It's not an Urbandale issue or a Johnson issue. It's actually it's a national issue, and it's something that we need to continue to wrap our arms around what the solutions the community can bring to the table, and what we can't do is use gun violence as a means to stop dialogue. If anything comes out of this, right, in terms of our healing, it has to be that we open up tables of discussion where we are talking across differences, we are talking about cross perspectives, and we are coming to a common solution around something that we can all support and that we can all move forward with that's actually going to protect our students, protect our families, and protect our staff.
So are guns being brought inside school? Is that something?
Sometimes that does happen. Well, we've had incidents where that's been that's taken care of. That has happened in schools, and again, that's not just a Des Moines school thing.
At this point, the door's open in 5 minutes, so we have
So maybe we got one more question.
more, and then we got some more.
Yes.
There's a lot of diversity within Des Moines Public Schools, and I was just wondering what the efforts of communication are for a lot of the women of color, Latino, Spanish speaking.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we've worked very closely with not only our community partners across languages and across cultural differences, because again, that is the strength of our community and that of our school district. And so we've worked with our bilingual family liaisons to get communication out in all languages that we serve in our school district. We have a dual language platform, School Connects, that we utilize to actually communicate with our families on a daily basis, from the classroom to district-wide efforts. And so we continue to reach out and leverage our critical partners, partners like Don with Alexito, partners like Henny in our Asian community. We continue to work with folks across the district and across our communities to make sure that we are not leaving anyone out. Again, this is a fully inclusive effort to make sure that we have everybody represented at the table, so that we come to some common understanding and some common beliefs around what we can do more of to better serve our children. So thank you for that.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Phil. Thank you all for being here.